Hello there. Welcome back as we continue taking a deep dive into astrology, the Sabian degrees of the zodiac. There are 360. We're taking a look at 2 each time. Today we're on Cancer, Capricorn 9. These insights give us the storylines, the psychological profiling, energies that we see present on social media. If you wonder how certain things happen to be popular on certain days, this is one of the answers. Thanks for being here. Without further ado, let's jump into Capricorn 9. A winged fairy hovering and playing a tiny harp. A woman thinks of all the things that have died and rotted to make the soil. A woman washes a man's feet, then dries them with her hair. A man alone for many months is absorbed in writing his novel. The stone here is Euclase. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Both stones will be in the description if you'd like to take a closer look. This is sometimes called a happiness stone. It gives us heart-centered awareness. It raises our intuition and gives clarity to the mind. It is an honest stone, wants to constantly bring forth new energy in hopes of ridding unwanted negative habits. It is serene beauty with profound wisdom. It controls pain from arthritis. It gives us strength and clarity, helps us accept that we all make mistakes, aids in accessing the Akashic records. So there's a definite emphasis on death here as being a part of one of the steps in rebirth. By accepting that there is constant change in the world, that is what is needed for manifestation. That is what's needed to keep us from becoming completely stagnant and dying an early death. The symbol with the woman washing the man's feet and then drying them with her hair, there can be the need to play a subservient role. Again, like I mentioned yesterday on Capricorn Cancer 8, by tapping into what others need and going with the flow, by becoming a part of the energy that is required at the moment, it helps bring us all into a wholeness. We realize that we are all part of a beautiful harmony and that each of us play an important role. Sometimes you're the lead singer, sometimes you're in the chorus, sometimes you're in the audience. So it's embracing that we each play different roles. Here, possibly you're playing a subservient role. The woman washing the man's feet with her hair is a beautiful symbol, and I'm glad that it came up because I've always wondered, what is that about Mary washing Jesus's feet with her and then drying them with her hair? Obviously, this is a reference to that. In one way, that the rational mind, understanding the feet being purified and then dried with the feminine aspect. So cleansing, understanding gives us clarity of thought, and it also embraces the beauty of the dark feminine. So it's a coming together. We want to pull things together here. We want to feel whole. We want to move forward in a sense of wholeness, but it's balancing objectivity with subjectivity. We bring it together. That by accepting death as part of the rebirth process, we are going with the flow. Something that dies, no longer needed. We set it out on the curb like a piece of furniture. It allows us to see our room cleansed. We can see new ways of using it, and we move forward in a fresher way. We have new eyes. So it can be the death of someone. I have personally lost my sweet goof on this particular axis of this degree. It was on the Cancer side, but yeah, my sweet goof died on this day. So actual death can happen here as well. There's some talk of the angels here coming and playing a harp. There's definitely an emphasis on music on both degrees here. I haven't gotten to Cancer yet, but beautiful music being played in a cathedral. The beautiful music of life, being in the rhythm of life, being in the flow of life. There was one thing here talked about angels that I wanted to mention. They are personalizations of various aspects of life, like specific aspects of life, and that they're subservient to that purpose, that rhythm alone. So we're being reminded here to embrace the moment. Cliche, I know, but for a reason. Be here now, embrace and relish what you have with you now. What we're after here is cleansing our understanding of how life works, the processes of why things happen, being in tune with others, giving them what they need so that we can remain in the flow, not to be a doormat, but to understand that, like I said, sometimes we're not the lead role in this life. And it helps us to get in touch with our animal side. We pull ourselves together by respecting what others need. This is a very spiritual degree. It can be, definitely, if it's strong for you, because there's an ability to understand the spiritual meaning and purpose of everything in life. A deeply religious or spiritual person, and a deep connection to music. Let's take a look at Cancer 9. A small naked girl bends over a sparkling pond trying to catch a fish. A man shaking dew off orchids into a glass vial. A skeleton playing a flute. A sylph reaches into a pool to caress a fish. The sound of singing voices echoes through a dark, cavernous cathedral. The stone here is Snowflake Obsidian. It balances the mind, body, and soul. It helps us recognize and change unhealthy patterns. It is soothing and serene energy. It improves circulation, benefits the skin and veins. It helps give us courage, clear system of toxins, preventing the flow of positive energy. Encourages inner reflection. It shields from negativity and grief, and it speaks to the root and third eye chakras. Yesterday we were working with imitating, the beginning steps of learning. Here we're moving beyond imitation and aping to actually reaching out. We want to encounter things to gain knowledge. The little girl reaching out to touch the fish, to caress the fish or catch it. And there's a sense of healing here, floral remedies with the orchids, the dew from orchids. So orchids play a big role here. Theme of death, the skeleton playing the flute. So there's music, beautiful music being played in a deep, dark cathedral. That gives a beautiful image right there, that we are the cathedral. The music comes up from within. We embrace death here. Bones play a big role in this particular degree. Even though we're talking about Cancer here, there is a deep Capricorn emphasis. Capricorn speaks to the bones. And what do you use? I use what I have. I use what I have to the best ability to nurture myself, to make my surroundings as nurturing as possible. Finding the most efficient way to use what we have to be comfortable, to be as efficient as possible in our space, to enjoy the beautiful music that death makes. You know, I know that's sometimes hard to get a handle on when you're dealing with grief, but these stones are definitely helpful here. The snowflake is a reminder that we're each individual. You look at a sky and you see a sky full of snow and it all looks the same, but each snowflake has an individual imprint, and each of us has that, but we're all part of the beautiful choir of life. So we're embracing our individuality, but we're also embracing that we are a part of the whole, that death is part of the whole. It's part of the cleansing process of life. Finding what is good and useful in unexpected ways. When somebody dies, their essence is always with us, but what they leave behind can be useful for somebody else. So it clears the way for the new. It clears the way for somebody else to use what they had so that newness can come from it. I also think there's an underlying theme here of being careful with people, that situations are fragile, that we have what we have for a finite period, but also what we have can seem very strong and can withstand all storms, but here we're embracing fragility as well, so you want to be careful with yourself on these days. The stone on Capricorn is very fragile. It breaks very, very easily. So definitely a fragility to this particular degree. To embrace fragile beauty. There's an ability to heal what is fragile by meditating on it, and to see yourself cleansed. Cleanse your bones, cleanse them from the inside out, from the marrow out, cleansed. I didn't say this, but it is definitely mentioned over and over again. Snowflake Obsidian is a stone of purity, and one of the key phrases here is purity in understanding. So we're trying to cleanse our mind and see things with the eyes of a child. Through a purity and understanding, we can move forward in a more holistic way. In a purer sense, we can gain more. Over time, we all become conditioned, and so we take certain things for granted that a child or somebody new to our society would not necessarily take for granted. So to see through the eyes of a child is to be pure in understanding, and to constantly keep wiping away conditioning. If you think about society, how certain things that we take for granted and certain phrases mean this now. If you look back through time, I love words and I study a lot, obviously. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing here. So thanks for being here. I appreciate you guys. But when you look back at turns of phrases, how many ways a certain idea can be said, and that what used to make perfect sense to somebody in the 1800s, we have no idea what it means now to be said that way. So there's a constant cleansing that goes on in understanding, and we're to embrace that within. And it helps us to move through life with purity. So purity of understanding and an embracing of the cycle of death, enjoying beautiful music, having a sense of play with innocence today is what's going on. So that's what I've got for you. I thank you so very much for being here. Leave me a comment if these symbols are saying something different to you, if you've had a specific dream about them, if they are strong in your birth chart. Give me a like if you're enjoying this, subscribe for more, and take care till next time.